Today in Albany, New York, a shocking dismissal in a school district, concert chaos downtown, and the long shadow of an environmental ban still shaping life along the Hudson. Let's dive in. I'm Dean Bark. Welcome to the City Report with Dean Bark in Albany, New York. First up, assistant coach fired amid child rape charges in Amsterdam. Jared T. Balduzin, an assistant coach for the Greater Amsterdam School District's varsity boys lacrosse team, has been fired by the school board following criminal charges. New York State Police, the statewide law enforcement agency, charged Balduzin on March 16 with third-degree rape and a third-degree criminal sexual act. Investigators say the alleged assault involved a student from the neighboring Broadalbin Perth Central School District, dating back to spring 2024 when Balduzin worked there as a teacher's assistant and coach. After state police alerted Amsterdam officials, the district placed him on administrative leave, and the school board voted March 21st to terminate his employment. Balduzin is scheduled to appear in court on March 31st. The district says student safety and rapid response guided the decision. As always, these are allegations unless and until proven in court. One more point. According to officials, Balduzin was still employed by the New York State Thruway Authority, the state agency that operates the Thruway. It's unsettling, and it raises fair questions about interagency background checks and notifications. Let's cut to the chase. Those systems need to talk to each other better. Next up, concert chaos. Man charged with assaulting deputy at Cloverfest. At MVP Arena, Albany's downtown sports and concert venue, a 21-year-old Troy man was detained after security at Cloverfest, a hip-hop concert event, struggled to remove him for what they described as irrational behavior. The Albany County Sheriff's Office, the county's primary law enforcement agency, says the man allegedly punched a sheriff's sergeant in the head as deputies stepped in to help. He was charged with second-degree assault, resisting arrest, and obstruction of governmental administration. Arraignment was set for Albany City Court, the city's trial-level court for such matters. The sergeant was treated for head injuries and released from a local hospital. Sheriff Craig Apple, the county's elected sheriff, said events like this usually have 3 to 4 officers on hand. He also noted it was unclear how many deputies were involved in this scuffle and whether the man was intoxicated. Concerts should be about music, not mayhem. A fresh look at security and crowd management wouldn't hurt. Well, that's one way to kill an encore. Next up, 50 years later, the impact of New York's Hudson River fish consumption ban. For more than 5 decades, New York State has warned against eating most fish from the Hudson River because of PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls, industrial chemicals that persist in the environment. The advisory began in 1975 after contamination tied largely to General Electric plants. In 1983, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the federal regulator known as the EPA, designated the lower 200 miles of the Hudson a Superfund site, a legal label that triggers long-term cleanup. Dredging between 2009 and 2015 removed contaminated sediment, and by 2015, the EPA called the dredging complete. But the story didn't end there. In a 2025 review, the EPA said more time is needed to gauge the cleanup's effectiveness. Data show PCB levels in fish remain a concern, and in some stretches they even ticked up between 2020 and 2021. Environmental groups argue the risk burden has been shifted onto anglers via advisories rather than fully on the polluters. State health officials continue to warn residents, but some anglers either don't know or don't follow the guidance. For those fishing close to Albany's riverfront, check the New York State Department of Health advisories before you fry anything. It's worrying that after all these years, the Hudson's contamination still feels like a ticking time bomb. Next up, echoes of redlining. School zones in Schenectady still reflect 1930s divisions. A new report says today's school attendance zones in Schenectady, Albany's neighbor to the northwest, still mirror the 1930s redlining maps. Documents drawn by federal housing assessors that branded predominantly black and immigrant neighborhoods as too risky for investment. The long-term damage is familiar. Fewer resources, weaker infrastructure, and schools that lag. According to the report, many Schenectady students remain locked into underperforming schools by virtue of their addresses. Albany's district has leaned on magnet programs and open enrollment, options that allow students to apply for schools outside their immediate neighborhoods. To broaden access, supporters say it's improved choice, while critics argue results are mixed and don't reach everyone. The report recommends giving students the ability to choose schools within a set radius to soften the hard edges of historic lines. It's time to redraw the lines and give every child a real shot. Let's not overcomplicate this. Address matters, and it still shouldn't decide destiny. Last up, Northampton considers halting battery storage project amid safety concerns. The town of Northampton in the southern Adirondack region near Great Sacandaga Lake is weighing a one-year moratorium on a utility-scale battery energy storage project. The developer is Carson Power, a private energy company, and the Adirondack Park Agency, the state body overseeing development in the park, issued a permit in January. Residents and local officials cite fire risk, even as New York's updated fire code now requires hazard mitigation analyses and independent peer review for these facilities. A public hearing is expected, giving the town time to study the project's environmental, safety, and legal implications. Leaders note an outright denial could invite a lawsuit. Carson Power says it's willing to work with the town. Battery storage helps clean the grid by storing low-cost power and deploying it at peak times. The debate is over how and where to build and how to ensure first responders are ready. Balancing innovation with safety is crucial. Better safe than sorry. What's the takeaway? Strong rules, transparent planning, and credible emergency response buy public trust. And that's your report for today from the City Report with Dean Bark in Albany, New York. Have a great day and join us again tomorrow.